It has been 2 days since Zizarin had the Dev Insights chat with GGG's Jonathan and Mark. This was supposed to be a 2-hour chat, which lasted for 2 hours and 17 minutes. So you know it's gonna be good. There's memes, there's information, and more importantly, there have been a bunch of updates made since that directly address things that Ziz brought up in this interview. Look at this. You've got upcoming changes. You've got further changes. And finally, what we're going to be looking at today, you've got Respec'ing Ascendency classes and more. And here we are. This little bit of information was released early this morning, Eastern Time, and it is a doozy. It's a doozy. The big thing here is Respec'ing Ascendency classes. This is something which we probably weren't going to get, except it had a ton of community pushback. The way it works, though, is not exactly the same as it worked in PoE 1, which is probably a good thing. It was always a little bit weird that you could just do the first level lab and respec your Ascendency. Here's how they implemented it. Just like in PoE 1, you go to the Ascension device and you can respec. The difference is the trial that you do has to grant you the number of points you already have, which is equivalent to in PoE 1, if you had already completed the Uber lab, you would have to do another Uber lab in order to actually respec. Don't worry though, this does not mean that you have to do the trial without an Ascendency. Balbala or the Trial Master are standing next to the Ascension device and you can respec right there after you finish the trial and then change your class. There are also a couple changes to the level requirements for doing ultimatums with different numbers of chambers, but I don't really care about that. Let's look at the rest of the changes. For Endgame Changes, there's what I think is more of a bug than a lack of a feature, but tower maps and hideout maps don't currently spawn the rare monster for the clear condition. And because of that, you don't get the extra map that's designed to allow for guaranteed map sustain. One of the cool changes in 0.2 is that you now should have no issue with map sustain. So not having that in hideout maps and tower maps was a little bit annoying, I suppose, but usually you're going to get enough maps from other maps that it's not much of an issue. But good update. There are also more rares in tower and hideout maps, which is just nice. These are what are going to drop most of your loot anyway, so I'm okay with that. On to crafting changes. As each new rune tier is unlocked, we're removing the lower runes from the drop pool. Thank you. This is to stop you getting spammed with lesser runes at higher levels. Yes, this is already happening to me, and I'm only on like tier 3 maps, but I have a ton of lesser runes, and I've just been using the Reforge bench to combine 3 of them to upgrade them. I would rather just get the upgraded ones and not get the lesser ones. They're going to adjust the drop rates so that you get a more reasonable number of total runes. This is all great. They're also adding the ability to add sockets to scepters and adding mods to some talismans for scepters. This is fine. I'm not playing a minion cuck, so I don't really care, but like I'm sure a lot of people do. Totem changes. Due to a bunch of people reporting that totems can't survive in endgame because they don't have as much res as the player does, they start gaining elemental resistances from gem level 15 up to 75% at level 20, and the Ironwood support also adds some maximum elemental res to totems. Just good stuff for totem players, which I'm sure I'll play at some point, but not right now. Shard Scavenger updates. The Shard Scavenger reservation wasn't doing enough to be useful to most players. As a result, it now also restores 1 cooldown use for all of your grenades and grants a buff for 2 seconds that prevents your crossbow attacks consuming bolts. I don't really know what this means because I haven't used a crossbow yet. I'm just using a regular bow right now. Shout out to the gas arrow players. Finally, my skills on the Gemcutting tab. When using an uncut skill gem, it was often annoying to find skills you were using from off classes to level up. In order to fix that, they have added a new tab to Gemcutting windows, which shows you all the gems you have equipped. That's great, even more than just for off classes. It's just going to be easier to level stuff up. I'm fine with that. It's great. Just gotta take a page out of Try's book and glaze GGG for a second here. Overall, I'm liking these changes. I know there are a lot of naysayers about this game, and also the Steam charts are suggesting that maybe a lot of people are really unhappy with 0.2. But personally, I want them to keep developing this. I want them to do a great job. I'm happy with the changes so far. I hope we keep getting more depth in the end game. And I also hope that this game actually is a bit of a departure from the first game, because otherwise I would have just wanted it to be Path of Exile version 1.5, basically just the next iteration of PoE 1. If it's a second game altogether, I can decide which one I want to play, or if I want to play both, I can do that and have different experiences in each one. All right, that's it. Hopefully we get more patches soon. Let's go. Bye.